today's podcast was just basically an introduction for who we are and kind of what we hope to accomplish with this podcast. Before we close out though, or end it, I know this is pretty short, but how would you describe me as a twin and as your brother? Because I know how I would describe you as my sister and as my twin. How would I
describe you?
Well, so let me go. I'll go first because I kind of know how.
Okay, yeah, go first because I'm going to just cheat off your sheet.
Right,
go ahead.
So I think clearly that you are very outspoken. You're very, you speak your mind. You have zero filter. You have
No, I don't. How dare you?
Yeah, you don't. You have no filter. I could say you give zero F's about what people think, say, or do. You're very confident, sure of yourself. You're very boisterous and I won't say opinionated. I mean, everybody has opinions, but I mean, you're very sure of yourself and have conviction of what you say. And I think your not your energy, but I think you present yourself or carry yourself as somebody that is very confident, very down to earth, cut through the bullshit type of person. And I don't know where that started. I don't know where that attitude kicked in at. I want to say maybe it was. I think I saw some of it in high school, but I think there was a point where you went full tilt and say, "This is who I am." Like it or not, buddy, I'm going to say what I think. I'm going to say what I feel. If you don't like it, too bad. Tough titty. And that's it. Am I pretty close on how I've...
Yeah, you're pretty close. You probably say so. Yeah. I had a turning point. Yeah. I just kind of figured I was tired of being in my own shell. Like, I have nothing else to lose. Why not just go for why am I sitting around waiting for people to dictate or tell me how to act? I just couldn't just sit quietly and let just shit happen. And
I mean, did you think?
And sometimes I do. Don't get me wrong. There are times that I do bite my tongue, and I'm like, okay, well, that ain't me, or I can't do that. But
do you remember there was? Do you remember that when there was an instance where you were sort of a wallflower or sitting on the sideline where you just let things happen? And was there? Do you remember a time where, or there was something that said, you know what?
No, I think I've always kind of, like, all the way through high school, I really wasn't I had friends, don't get me wrong, but I wasn't like one of those outgoing people. I liked people. I had friends. I spoke to individuals. I didn't really get out there and be like, hey, I didn't think, it started to change. I think after I got out of high school, I realized that the world is really big, and if you don't stand up for yourself and you don't have an opinion, it's gonna chew you up and spit you out. And relationships do that too, where you invest in people and you find their true feelings about you, or you have an indication that maybe your thoughts weren't the same as their thoughts, and you're like, okay, I can't keep doing this. I can't keep giving, and then it all come back and you don't have a say so in it. That part, I think, was my turning point, where I'm like, I'm just as important as everyone else, and I have something to say. And ever since then, I just didn't give a fuck about anything, really. I mean, not that I don't, but certain things, if it affects me, or if it is something that resonates in me, I'm going to have to say, I have the feeling to say something or make the comment about it. But the crazy part about it, I'm different person, and it's weird to say, but I hold myself differently when I'm a mom versus when I'm a sibling.
I can understand that.
Because when you're a mom, things definitely, you have...
you wear that hat.
You have to be careful. Yeah, you have to choose your words carefully when it comes to your children, because now you're forming young adults. Those are your kids. You got to make sure that they are... aware and self-aware, but I'm more open and understanding, and I encourage them to speak their mind. It might not be what I want to hear, but at least they have a voice. You know what I mean? When they're little, you're their voice, and now that they're older, they need to stand up for themselves, and right is right, wrong is wrong.
Yeah, you have this more honest relationship with them, and a more grown-up relationship with them than maybe we had.
Correct. Yeah, but that's an evolution of every parent-child relationship, I think. But you definitely have to give them the space to find out who they are. Not like we didn't, but we did. But it was all conformed that way. Like we all were raised the same way. We all had the same nose. We all had the same whatever. But I was so eager to get out of that, and whatever means necessary that was. Probably wasn't the healthiest, but I got out. You know what I mean? I'm like, okay, I'm going to do something else. Like, I can't keep doing this. I can't stay in Kansas forever.
Right.
So, yeah. So, yeah, I would definitely agree with your depiction of me.
I mean,
yeah, I'd probably do that.
Yeah, and I think what you're saying about wearing different hats, you're going to wear a different hat for mom than you are at home, and a different hat at work than you
Correct.
are at home, and a different hat with your siblings than you are. You know,
Yes.
it's environment and the setting that you're in is, you know, are you more or less of the same person that you really are? So yeah, I totally understand and get that.
Correct. Yeah.
So how would you
Yes.
describe me?
I would describe you. I think we're polar opposites, honestly. I think you're more reserved. You're very observant. I think you definitely sit back and watch things unfold before you speak. You have this nature about you where you take in the moment. You try to see how it's gonna develop or what it's going to evolve to. And then if you have that window of opportunity to either make it funny or to make a joke or to make it a satire, like you know when to see if it's going good or going bad.
Right.
And you could probably cut it off at the pass, regardless of what that is. I don't have that filter. I can't read the room like you do. Like I would wear a mask to a funeral just recently that said, keep peace or stay or love or something like that. And we were at a funeral. So, I mean, that was really not the appropriate place to keep wearing a mask, but I would wear it and I would not even think anything of it. You would be like, okay, you need to probably take the mask down. That's probably not appropriate. So you definitely do that. You're very dedicated to what you do. You're a very dedicated person. You're a very loyal person. You definitely have a laid back personality when it comes to relationships. Like you're kind of, if it's not killing anybody, then why the fuck do we care? Like if it's not hurting or stressing out the nations, who cares? Let's just move on from it and we'll be good. So you definitely have that. Me, I get a little bit of it's got to be this way. If it's not that way, then why the hell is it not that way? You're like, sis, just let it go. I can't let shit go. That's me. I'm not a grudge holder, but I am kind of a grudge holder. So,
I get it.
And I don't think you have that. You don't have that in you because you're just kind of laid back about it.
I mean, I think
I think
you're
so.
more the alpha than I am.
Yes.
I'm not saying like aggressive, but I'm just saying you're more assertive. I mean, and I'm not saying I'm not. I'm just saying you're more than,
Yes, I can be excessive.
Yeah,
correct. Yes, I know that I
more
can.
to push my button than it would for you. Someone to.
Oh yeah. Oh, without a
You
doubt.
have a
Oh
way
yeah.
more views than I do.
I will flip a switch in a quick
And-
no, it'll take you a while and you'll probably fester about it. Me, I'm popping up like, yeah, no, that's not what we're gonna do, and that's not okay. You'd be like, okay, let's really step back and see the big picture. My picture is about this small. I don't have a picture. Like my picture is not like this. It is like this. So we are definitely the yin and the yang. When it comes to that, but I think I think that's you. You're fun. I mean, you're funny. You have moments.
Yeah.
You have funny moments.
Yeah, I told someone the other day that I think I try to be funny around my family because for me that's my only way to get attention because I never got it as a kid. So I mean, I for me it's like because there's 13 of us. Everybody's.
I know, but does that sound like therapy right there? Like seriously,
that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. It's like I'm trying to get attention I didn't get when I was younger. So for me to make people laugh or to have a moment, that's what I relish in. And I try to be. I try to be that funny or say a joke or a pun or something. And so yeah, for sure.
I try to be a raging bitch because there's no one else in the family like it.
That's true.
So
you own it.
I do. I think that it fits me. It fits my personality, and everybody kind of expects it because I'm kind of out there anyway. Like I don't really have much of a filter, like you said. Like yeah.
And I've
Okay.
been told that I do this a lot, that I play devil's advocate and I'd say
You
the
do.
contrary
Yes.
comment versus something else. And like, why don't you just agree with me?
Correct.
I'm like, well, I can't, because either A, I don't agree with you, or B, well, you need to look at it from
Right.
the other perspective, because it's like, and I don't know
Correct.
where that came from or why I do that, but I know I've done it a lot to people where I've said, well,
Yes.
have you really thought about, and I don't know where that came from, but I'm definitely, I definitely play devil's advocate a lot. So
So that's a good depiction of you. Yeah.
yeah, I think so. I think it's very good. For sure. I
Yeah.
think that's I think we're aligned with how we see each other, and here we're going to wrap this up in a minute, but the thing that I also wanted to mention is that as twins and as siblings, we've always been there for each other, in
Yes.
issues or crises or whatever. But I know that,
Correct.
but I do know that as siblings, we've also been very independent of one another, where I'm
Correct.
not blowing your phone up every single day
Correct.
or putting you on
Correct.
blast, or like, hey, what's going on? What are you doing? Who you're with? Blah blah blah. And you're not
Yeah.
doing that to me. And I don't.
No.
And it's not a. I don't think. And people would wonder, like, why wouldn't you talk to your brother every day? Like, well, one, we live in two different cities. If I saw you every day, it might be. People would say, of course you would see them and talk to them. Or they would say, well, yeah, of course you're apart. You should talk to your brother every day. But we don't. We don't talk every day, do we?
No.
And I think this,
Maybe we talk once a month, if
right, but I
that.
think this is a good format for us to also allow us to, I wouldn't say necessarily reconnect, but to have a more a constant conversation with one another. And I'm not saying I'm not
Okay.
saying
Yeah.
I've missed any of that, because I don't think I've missed out on any of your life, and I don't think you've missed out on any of
No.
mine.
Mm-mm.
Do you feel like there was a disconnect, or do you ever feel like that, like that's
No.
how
No.
we've
No.
always
No. No.
been,
Never.
and we've never really questioned it?
Correct. Yes, yes. I think that's how it's always been. I don't think there's ever been, honestly, I don't think there's ever been a real disconnect with any of my brothers and sisters when it comes to us having a conversation. I think generationally, because there's such a gap between us, that I'm definitely not going to understand what my sisters and brothers went through, older than me,
That's a,
did when we,
that's a,
yeah. So that's kind of where that gap comes in, where
that's another podcast.
now they're in their, 60s, 70s, and we're now in our 50s. So, I mean, it's like, that's only generational. But now that we're adults, things are definitely a lot different.
I mean, that's definitely a podcast that we have to do about talking.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Without a
our
doubt.
oldest sister, who's what, 7,
Oh, God.
70, what?
We ain't got all night for that. Them
They might have
crazies.
a problem connecting to the internet. So,
Yeah.
but no,
I'm going to have to have a few drinks for that
there
one.
you go. Oh, we're gonna have lots of Mai Tais.
Yeah, because they're dry. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, hey, I think that's a great start for us for episode number 1
Yes.
for Womb for Two. First, I want to thank Chuck Loff, who created the graphics for the opening of our show.
Thanks, Chuck. You the man.
Produced the music, so we really appreciate that.
Bomb.com, Chuck. I know that's an old one, but yes, you're awesome.
Many kudos, many thank yous. Be sure to appreciate it. All right, so that's going to wrap it up for Womb for Two. And I'll let you. You want to say the closeout sign, sign-off sign? We can both say it together. The womb is closed.
I thought we were going to go with there's no more room in the womb. And then you say the womb is closed.
All right. Well, let's do that then.
We'll get it together.
Episode 1, man. We'll figure it out.
Okay, there's no more room in the womb.
Womb is closed.